We must make it clear. The games are over. To hell with international rules and the international order. If, for the sake of our national security, it was necessary to launch a special military operation on the territory of Ukraine, then why, based on the very same considerations, can we not launch such operations in other parts of our sphere of influence?
Russia keeps scaring its neighbors with the threats of war and scrambling to explain why it couldn't protect its Venezuelan ally, Maduro. Classic Kremlin playbook, everyone's to blame, except the Russians. They've even cooked up a story that CIA is lying to Trump and acting behind his back. Ubik, new Russian nonsense. I'm Sofia and this is Spin Snipers, where we tear apart Kremlin drama and serve up the brutal facts fast. Well, Donald Trump claims Russia is more ready for peace than ever, and the only one sabotaging the process is Ukraine. Russian propagandists are openly calling for violence against Ukrainians. Apparently, launching a missile at Lviv is what wanting peace looks like. And for the Russians themselves, one strike was not even enough.
It's great that, in retaliation for the strike on the residence of our Supreme Commander-in-Chief, we respond with an Oreshnik strike. But explain this to me. Why does this strike land somewhere in the area of Lviv? Is it intended to have a psychological effect? Why not send one Oreshnik there and another one to destroy the residence of the Ukrainian chief terrorist? If we are talking about retaliation, can we act this way? With maximum severity, with absolute ruthlessness.
But let me say it again. Ukrainian drones did not attack Putin's residence. Meanwhile, Russian forces shoot anywhere, no matter if it's playgrounds, flat buildings, hospitals or schools. Pure terror. The twist? Russian state TV blamed the CIA for a completely fake attack on Putin's residence. Apparently, the CIA is working behind Trump's back and Russia is helping him notice.
If we want to make an impression, we need to destroy decision-making centers. I understand why Donald Trump says, "I was told this or that." It's because he was taught by his first term. He cannot say that the Russians are telling the truth while his own intelligence agencies, the CIA, are lying. And the CIA cannot tell the truth. Because behind the strike on the residence of our president, there is someone among American experts. We understand that someone had to provide targeting and preparation. And there they are, NATO personnel, which means Americans as well, who appear to be acting contrary to Trump's direct instructions.
Russian propagandists suddenly won't touch Trump, not a word of criticism. Almost like someone upstairs told them to keep quiet, because Moscow is currently in Washington's good books. Otherwise, it's hard to explain Trump's claim that Putin is ready for peace. Russian state TV is broadcasting a very different message, openly fantasizing about wiping Ukraine off the map.
If we want to win this difficult war, we must state clearly and unambiguously we need to destroy the enemy. Not only their infrastructure, not only to take out power stations, which is necessary, but more than that. You cannot fight a war half-heartedly. War implies the destruction of the enemy's military and political leadership.
And if that's still not enough proof, just listen to Solovyov openly and shamelessly calling for Ukrainian cities to be bombed. Apparently, this is what wanting peace looks like, Russian style.
Let's finally bring the special military operation to an end. Not with the most powerful, but with demonstrative strikes on decision-making centers, hard, targeted strikes to decapitate terrorist Ukrainian leadership. That is what needs to be done. And if we want Belgorod to feel safe, then Kharkiv must experience the full weight of hatred. The Russian person's sense of justice toward. And if we want Kursk to feel safe, then Sumy must feel it. Crimea, Odessa, and Mykolaiv.
While Russia blames Ukraine for strikes on energy infrastructure in Russian cities, Ukrainian regions, including the capital, are left without power, water, or heating in freezing temperatures. Russia started this energy terror first, weaponizing the cold. Ukraine is only responding, and even then, not on the same scale. Because by now, it's clear the only language Russia understands is force. And the bigger picture? Russia is clearly preparing for a long war, switching its economy onto full military tracks. Russian propagandists are telling a population already feeling the pinch of war and budget cuts that everything is going according to plan.
This war is for the long haul. It will move from one phase to another. The hot phase will be replaced by another one. It is clear that we will press through in Donbas, but that will change nothing. It is also clear that the so-called coalition of the willing, in one form or another, will push Europe toward a major war, and here the economy must be ready. The economy.
And while Russia could not even protect its ally, Venezuelan dictator Maduro, they are already scrambling to explain it. It's not that they are weak, of course, just priorities. Suddenly, they remember neighboring countries eager to keep control there.
We must grow at a pace faster than the global average, while clearly and unequivocally maintaining a vision of our main objectives. Supplying the front with the most modern equipment at prices we can afford. That means costs must be optimized, reduced to zero where possible, with everything unnecessary eliminated. There must be a clear understanding of goals and tasks, and the approach must be properly structured. We should not be focusing on Syria or Venezuela. We must not lose our positions. But the most important priority for us is our near abroad.
And after that little speech about positions in neighboring countries, propagandist Solovyov jumped in with the full-on threats. Meanwhile, the so-called peaceful Russia, the one Trump calls ready for peace, is openly hinting that a war like the one in Ukraine could start in other neighboring countries too, like Armenia.
We must make it clear, the games are over. To hell with international rules and the international order. If, for the sake of our national security, it was necessary to launch a special military operation on the territory of Ukraine, then why, based on the same considerations, can we not launch such operations in other parts of our sphere of influence?
But those threats did not go unanswered. Yerevan has already reacted. Russia's ambassador to Armenia, Sergei Kopyrkin, was summoned to Foreign Ministry and handed a formal protest over statements by Russian propagandist Solovyov. The ministry called his words a hostile act and an unacceptable infringement on the sovereignty of the Republic of Armenia. Funny how that works. The same Russia that now openly threatens neighbors could not help Armenia when Azerbaijan launched military action in Nagorno-Karabakh in 2023. Armenia could not get support even through the CSTO, the so-called Russian-led alliance it belongs to. After that, Armenia froze its membership. And in Russia, they openly admitted they don't care about the sovereignty or independence of their neighbors. The only thing they can accept? Puppet states.
And we have our national interests, and we do not care what everyone else thinks. We are prepared to tolerate any government within our zone of national interest if it is pro-Russian, and we are not prepared to tolerate any other government, no matter how it came to power, if it is anti-Russian.
And of course, Russian propagandists are doing everything they can to spin their failure in Venezuela. Apparently, it was not Russian air defenses that failed. No. It was the Venezuelans who didn't make proper use of them.
Neither Chinese experts nor our own were allowed anywhere near the air defense systems. Everything that was supplied and purchased was operated by Venezuelans themselves. How? That's a question for them. It is not by chance that, according to some reports, arrests are now taking place.
Of course, Russia's failure and the US special operation in Venezuela did not leave Russian propagandists indifferent. Their spin, Washington just had to grab their ally. So wait, Moscow is not exactly feeling friendly toward the US these days?
And how are we supposed to react when Americans are doing things in what is essentially our soft underbelly? Let me remind you what they said. There will be no Russians and no Chinese in Venezuela. This is our zone of national interests. So can someone publish Russia's zone of national interests? Does such a thing even exist? We have said it many times. That's exactly the point. We must say, there will be no one here. No one. You don't like it? Well, until we crush Ukraine hard, everyone will keep thinking they can come here and start wagging their tails.
So Ukraine's to blame too. Apparently, Russia's brilliant strategy failed to take Kyiv in 3 days, and it's not their big army. No, it's everyone else's fault. Of course, to justify the casualties and a full-scale war against a peaceful neighbor that's been going on for 4 years, Russians claim they're fighting NATO's might, and they have not even gone full force yet.
If we had used our full power, the pace of advance would have been completely different, and the losses on both sides would have been entirely different as well. But we are conducting a special military operation, and therefore, as our Supreme Commander-in-Chief has said, we are trying to proceed in this way, while on the other side, they are waging a terrorist war against us. And behind those terrorists on the other side stands the full power of the NATO bloc.
Russia's intentions are clear and simple. No illusions here. They want war, and they'll keep waging it. That's it for today. While the Russian propaganda machine keeps running, we'll keep exposing their lies. I'm Sophia, and this was Spin Snipers. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and don't fall for the spin.